Let this light of knowledge dispel the darkness of ignorance and enlighten our minds. Let us continue throughout our lives to search and study, to question and learn, and to live in the light of knowledge, rather than the shadows of ignorance.
Welcome. Welcome and thank you for attending our 2023-2024 Academic Honors Convocation. Before we begin, I should remind you to silence any electronic devices, and I should point out the emergency exits, which are conveniently marked with an exit sign above them. So if there is an emergency, go there. Hopefully that won't happen tonight because we're here to celebrate our students. This is a wonderful event. This is a special event to be able to celebrate and recognize the hard work and the academic achievement of our students throughout the year. Parents, this is a great night for you. You've put a lot of hard work into making sure your students learn to work hard and to help your children and to help them at home and encourage them. Keep it up and keep going because it's totally worth it. For our teachers, thank you for everything you do. Really, thank you for everything you do every day. I see the, yeah, thank you. As you can see, words don't really express what we really need to say to thank you for all the work that you do to help our students here at Beaver River. These students have had a better experience here at Beaver River because of you and the work that you put in and the time you put in and the dedication you have. Students that are here to be recognized tonight, keep up the good work. This isn't an end. This is not to say you're done. This is not to say you've made it. Stop now. It's just to say you've done well. Keep going. And keep those habits throughout your life. Every year at this ceremony, we have a past Beaver River graduate that accepts the invitation to be our keynote speaker. Tonight, we have Mrs. Kylie Byrne here to give us a perspective on the future for our students and her experiences. By introduction, Mrs. Byrne was born and raised in Lewis County. She's a 2005 graduate of Beaver River. During her time at Beaver River, she was a member of the Big Brothers Big Sisters, Future Teachers of America, Spanish Club, chorus, and yearbook staff, and participated in soccer and track. After graduation, she attended SUNY Plattsburgh, where she earned her bachelor's degree in psychology. During her time at SUNY Plattsburgh, she joined Sigma Delta Tau sorority and served as chapter president. She also served as a member of the Order of Omega and Psi Chi National Honor Societies and was awarded SUNY Plattsburgh's Sorority Woman of the Year in 2009. She went on to attend SUNY Albany and earned her master's degree in educational administration while interning in their Office of Conflict Resolution and Civic Responsibility. After graduation, she worked in the college admissions field for 10 years, joining various professional organizations and working her way up in the industry, serving in roles and ranging from transfer admissions counselor to director of partnerships. In 2021, Kylie and her husband, Jeff, became business owners and bought their first McDonald's restaurant. Today, they own 6 McDonald's restaurants in Western New York, employing around 200 people and serving about 5,000 guests per day. Kylie currently resides in Buffalo with her husband and their 2 young children. In her free time, she is usually with her kids. Running from one activity to the next, she enjoys traveling, bowling, and watching sports, though living in Buffalo while being a Jets fan can be difficult. Kylie's family still lives in the area, and she enjoys bringing her kids back to visit. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Kylie Byrne.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Kylie Smith Byrne, and I'm a 2005 graduate of Beaver River. I was asked to come and speak tonight about my experiences since graduating from here almost 20 years ago. These experiences have led me to my current role as a business owner of a restaurant you may have heard of before called McDonald's. My husband, Jeff, and I currently own 6 McDonald's restaurants in Western New York. Between our 6 restaurants, we serve about 5,000 customers per day and employ over 200 people, a responsibility I do not take lightly. When people find out that we own McDonald's restaurants, they are usually curious how we got there, and some days I'm not quite sure myself. But when I sit back and reflect on it, 3 main reasons emerge: good old-fashioned hard work, lots of support, and by identifying and leaning into our strengths. I will start off by saying in high school, I was never the most athletic or had the highest GPA or musically inclined, but I have always been a hard worker. I got a job as soon as I turned 16 and have always enjoyed working. I realized in college that by applying that work ethic to my academic goals, I could not only earn my degree, but excel while doing it, which really transformed me as a student. Once I began working full-time, I prided myself on 3 things, and as an employer myself, it's what I look for in others: to be reliable, give 100%, and most importantly, have a positive attitude. None of these take any special training or education, but no matter what profession you choose, if you do those 3 things, I can pretty much guarantee you will be successful. I really want to emphasize the positive attitude piece. I tell our employees, having a positive attitude does not mean you need to agree with everything I say. In fact, I don't want you to. I want to be challenged and make the business better. But if you tell me something isn't working or won't work, you must come up with another idea on what you think will and why. It's easy to be critical. It's harder to be collaborative. But that's the only way we make something better, by working together. Now, only you can do the work, and that will become clearer as you progress in your education and careers. And those being honored here tonight, only your name is being called for recognition because of that very principle. But there are a lot of people who want to see you succeed and have and will help you get there. Specifically, your teachers and family here tonight. And to those teachers in the room who really take the time to figure out what motivates their students and can pull that out of them, thank you. You make a difference. I have a few BRCS teachers that come to mind that were important to me that I wanted to mention. The first is Mrs. Brooks, my 3rd grade teacher. Mrs. Brooks passed away a couple of years ago, but to anyone that knew her or was lucky enough to have her as a teacher, you know she had a gift for making people laugh and feel loved. As an impressionable 3rd grader, she got me to like learning and love coming to school, which created a solid foundation for the rest of my education. The next is Mrs. Adams. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not particularly athletic, so you may be surprised that a physical education teacher is one that made a lasting impact on me. But she was able to identify that I was competitive and pull that out of me. So where I may have shrugged it off and not tried, I gave more because I didn't want to lose or be outworked, and she knew that. Last is Mrs. Hawksley. Mrs. Hawksley was my 12th grade math teacher. I believe she was in her 1st year teaching here when I had her. I had struggled with math all throughout school, so I was quite frankly scared of it. She helped me break it down to manageable parts and focus on each piece one at a time. I never seemed to struggle with math after that because I wasn't intimidated anymore. Except for maybe now when I help my 2nd grader with this new Common Core math. So Mrs. Hawksley, if you could see me after to give me some pointers, that'd be great. To the students in the room tonight, especially the seniors, I challenge you to identify those educators that have made a difference and to tell them, even if it's with a simple thank you. I'm sure it'll mean more than you know. It's also important to recognize your family for the endless love, sweat, and tears they put into your success, whatever that may be. It's a lot of work to raise a child. So thank you, parents, guardians, and family members. I remember when I moved to New York City after I finished graduate school, I asked my dad what he thought, and he said something to the effect that he didn't like it, but he trusted my judgment and knew that I could figure it out if that's what I wanted to do. As a parent myself now, I realize how scary it must be to say that to your 22-year-old daughter. But I am so thankful that my parents let me make mistakes and take chances, but had the confidence that I could figure it out, which made me believe in my own abilities too. Now, talking about abilities, it's important you realize what you're good at and to own it. Some of you may easily have something that comes to mind, but I know for me, it took me a while to realize what mine was. Once I was in the workforce, I realized my organization skills, something my family always joked about, could not only be used to color coordinate my entire closet, true story, but easily help me identify how to move an idea to real-life execution while multitasking and juggling other competing priorities. I've been a business owner now for 3 years, but prior to that, I worked in college admissions for over 10 years. I wanted to mention that for a couple of reasons. One, it's okay if you don't know what you want to do after high school. And if you do know, it's okay if the field you decide on is not ultimately the profession you end up in. In all likelihood, it probably won't be. I know I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. People's interests and lives change. You may need to change your major or career to feel fulfilled. The second reason I mention that is to highlight that even though I went to college for something completely different than what I'm doing now, your natural abilities can be applied to lots of different types of things, careers you might not have even thought about yet. Having worked now in different fields with people of all different education levels and backgrounds, I truly believe everyone has a skill or skills that come to them naturally that they can lean into to make themselves more successful. And a lot of times, it's something that you like to do because you know you're good at it. Once you figure out what that is, use it to your advantage. To go a step further, it's also important to know what you need to work on. If you're in a leadership position, being able to identify people who are better at certain things than you are and have them focus on those areas and take ownership of them so you can focus on what you do well doesn't make you weak. It makes you a leader and creates buy-in from those around you. I hope that some of what I shared here tonight resonates with you. I know I wouldn't be where I am today without the strong foundation I received here. Thank you to Beaver River Administration for inviting me to speak tonight. Again, thank you to the teachers, staff, parents, and family who support their students every day. And finally, a big congratulations to all the students that are being recognized tonight. Be proud of yourselves and the work you put in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Byrne, and also thank you to the corps leaders for that wonderful selection. We will now have Mrs. Moyer come and read the recognition of the scholars.
It is my privilege this evening to conduct the recognition of scholars portion of the program. Scholars, we ask that you please follow along in the program and make your way to the pit area before your name is read. Please remain in the pit area until that department is finished. Family and friends, please hold your applause until each department has finished recognizing all of its scholars. The first department to honor students tonight is English Language Arts. In English 12-1, with Mrs. Davis as the instructor, Samuel Edick and Christopher Kirch are honored for excellence, and Jesse Stevens for achievement. In English 12-2, with Mrs. Davis, Aspen Fitzgerald and Aubrey Monette are celebrated for excellence, and Juliana Losi is honored for achievement. In English 9, with Mrs. Moyer, Natalie Mosier, Kyra Olmstead, and Adelaide Tiss are honored for excellence, and Jenna Reed is celebrated for achievement. In Common Core English 3, or English 11, also with Mrs. Moyer, Grace Davis and Grace Putman are honored for excellence, and Garrett Edwards for achievement. In English 11, Intro to Shakespeare with Mrs. Montague Barrett, Madeline Johnson and Ryan Terillian are recognized for excellence, and Ava Campo is celebrated for achievement. In English 099, Writing for College, also with Mrs. Montague Barrett, Chase Brown is recognized for excellence, while Ian Waite is commended for achievement. In English 100 Composition with Mrs. Montague Barrett, Dylan Buckingham, Ava Campo, and Derek Walsman are celebrated for excellence, and Grayson Hess is recognized for achievement. In English 101, Research and Composition with Mrs. Montague Barrett, Sutton Barrett, Natalie Dickinson, and Eliza Metzler are all celebrated for excellence, and Paige Rogie is commended for achievement. In English 102, Composition in Literature with Mrs. Montague Barrett, Kendra Lehman and Paige Rogie are celebrated for excellence, and Naomi Rogie for achievement. In Theater Arts with Mrs. Montague Barrett, Adelaide Tiss is recognized for excellence, and Chanel Rice for achievement. The last class to recognize scholars in the English Language Arts Department is English 10 with Miss West. She would like to honor Tessa Murphy and Hannah Rogie for excellence, and Auburn Lee for achievement. The next department to honor students is Social Studies. In U.S. History and Government, JCC, with Mr. Kogut, Madeline Johnson and Tyler Bolivar are celebrated for excellence, while Sarah Herzig is honored for achievement. In Economics, with Mrs. Mosier, Aspen Fitzgerald and Aubrey Monette are honored for excellence, while Caden Maroff is celebrated for achievement. In Global History 1, with Mrs. Mosier, Julie Caputa, Jack Stevens, and Natalie Mosier are recognized for excellence, while Adelaide Tiss is honored for achievement. In JCC Intro to Macroeconomics with Mrs. Mosier, Natalie Dickinson and Kendra Lehman are honored for excellence, and Eliza Metzler and Andrew Chartrand are celebrated for achievement. In JCC Intro to Psychology with Mrs. Mosier, Chanel Rice is honored for excellence, and Andrew Chartrand for achievement. In JCC Intro to Sociology with Mrs. Mosier, Madeline Johnson is being honored for excellence, and Chanel Rice for achievement. In Global History and Geography 2 with Mr. Puddington, Eleanor Ball, Madeline Mattimore, and Hannah Rogie are honored for excellence, and Shay Mosier is recognized for achievement. In Participation in Government with Mr. Puddington, Aspen Fitzgerald and Kaylee Halteman are honored for excellence, and Phelan Locklear is recognized for achievement. In JCC Intro to American Government with Mr. Puddington, Natalie Dickinson and Paige Rogie are both recognized for excellence. The final class to honor students in the Social Studies Department is U.S. History with Mr. Woodrick. Garrett Edwards is being honored for excellence, and Cadence Shantz for achievement. The next department to recognize students is mathematics. In Common Core Algebra 2 with Mrs. Becker, Tyler Bolivar and Christopher Kirch are honored for excellence, and Sutton Barrett and Nathaniel Maurer are recognized for achievement. In Pre-Calculus with Mrs. Becker, Kennedy Becker is celebrated for excellence. In JCC Math 185 with Mrs. Becker, Ava Pilo is celebrated for excellence. In Common Core Geometry with Mrs. Buckingham, Ethan Maroff is honored for excellence, and McKinley Becker is recognized for achievement. In Non-Regents Geometry with Mrs. Buckingham, Peyton McIntyre is honored for excellence, and Jasmine Babcock for achievement. In Career and Financial Math with Miss Davis, Chanel Rice is recognized for excellence, and Hallie Clement for achievement. In Algebra 1 Graphing Calculator, Miss Davis would like to honor Kyra Olmsted and Quinlan Pominville for excellence, and Jaden Turk for achievement. In Algebra 1, Mrs. Hawksley would like to recognize Eleanor Ball, Quinlan Pominville, and Kyra Olmsted for excellence, and Carla Alberto and Raina Leindecker for achievement. The last class to celebrate scholars in the math department is Intro to Algebra with Mrs. Hawksley. Emma Closter is celebrated for excellence, and Claire Rogie for achievement. The next department to honor students is Science. In Regents Chemistry with Mr. Freed, Tyler Bolivar is recognized for excellence, and Christopher Kirch for achievement. In Earth Science, Mrs. Gates would like to recognize Ethan Maroff, Kyra Olmsted, and Milena Loomis for excellence, and Chase Ames for achievement. In Living Environment with Miss Watkins, Kylie Grau, Madeline Mattimore, and Isaiah Verkler are celebrated for excellence, while Zaya LaPlante is recognized for achievement. In AP Biology with Miss Watkins, Natalie Dickinson and Aspen Fitzgerald are recognized for excellence, and Sarah Herzig is honored for achievement. In Global Environment, also with Miss Watkins, Derek Zare is celebrated for excellence, and Emily Knight for achievement. The last class to recognize students in the Science Department is Physics with Miss Yancey. Charlie Ann Lehman is honored for excellence, and Christopher Kirch for achievement. The next department to celebrate students is Foreign Language. In Spanish 4 with Mrs. Leindecker, Natalie Dickinson is honored for excellence, and Micah Olmsted for achievement. In Spanish 2, Miss Maroff would like to honor Eleanor Ball, McKinley Becker, Tessa Murphy and Hannah Rogie for excellence, and Asia Giroux for achievement. The final class to honor students in the Foreign Language Department is Spanish 3 with Miss Mara. Charlie Ann Lehman is recognized for excellence, and Dylan Buckingham for achievement. The next department to recognize scholars is technology. In graphic communications with Mrs. Baker, Malia Leindecker is honored for excellence, and Jessie Stevens for achievement. In multimedia and motion graphics with Mrs. Baker, Ian Waite is commended for excellence, and Christian Kirch for achievement. In driver education with Mr. Bush, Emily Knight is honored for excellence, and Ethan Kraus is recognized for achievement. In design and drawing production, also with Mr. Bush, Julie Caputa is recognized for excellence, and Carter Closter for achievement. The last class to recognize students in the technology department is production wood with Mr. Bush. Daniel Nosher is honored for excellence, and Mason Zaire for achievement. The next department to honor students is agriculture. In Introduction to Agriculture, Mrs. Gaylord would like to commend Chanel Rice for excellence, and Lillian Spees for achievement. In Plant Science, Mrs. Gaylord would like to honor Quinn Hopple for excellence, and Phelan Locklear for achievement. The final class to celebrate scholars in the agriculture department is Veterinary Science with Mrs. Gaylord, where she would like to commend Eleanor Ball for excellence, and Ava Fleming for achievement. The next department to recognize students is Health, Physical Education, and Family and Consumer Sciences. In Physical Education with Mrs. Adams, Ashlyn Bolivar, Kaylee Halteman, and Emily Knight are recognized for excellence. In Physical Education with Mr. Leindecker, Andrew Chartrand, Riken Pomenville, and Daniel Knopfscher are recognized for excellence, while Marcus Dobbs is celebrated for achievement. The last class to honor students in this department is Health with Mr. Ingersoll, who would like to honor Ava Campo and Hannah Rogie for excellence, and Ethan Clemens for achievement. The final department to celebrate scholars this evening is Fine Arts. In Jazz Ensemble with Mr. McGrath, Christopher Kirch, Naomi Rogie, and Micah Olmstead are honored for excellence. In Concert Band, also with Mr. McGrath, Sutton Barrett, Elena Dickinson, and Natalie Dickinson are recognized for excellence, and Andrew Chartrand for achievement. In Choraliers with Mrs. Verkler, Andrew Chartrand and Nathan Verkler are recognized for excellence, while Dylan Buckingham is honored for achievement. In Senior Chorus with Mrs. Verkler, Tessa Murphy and Isaiah Verkler are honored for excellence, and Aiden Cherry is recognized for achievement. In Studio Art with Mr. Mosier, Micah Olmstead, Annabelle Pilo, and Olivia Rose are celebrated for excellence, while Claire Rogie is honored for achievement. In Ceramics 1 with Mr. Mosier, Samuel Landis is honored for excellence. In Digital Studio Photography 1 with Mr. Mosher, McKinley Becker, Allison Meyer, and Micah Olmstead are honored for excellence, while Lily Matamore is recognized for achievement. In Digital Studio Photography 2 with Mr. Mosher, Aspen Fitzgerald is commended for excellence, and Jasmine Martin for achievement. In Digital Studio Photography 3 with Mr. Mosher, Samuel Landis is recognized for excellence. In Drawing and Painting 2, Mr. Mosher would like to recognize Phelan Locklear for excellence and Ava Campo for achievement. In Drawing and Painting 3, Mr. Mosher is recognizing Holly Campo for excellence. The last class to recognize students in the Fine Arts Department is Sculpture 1, where Mr. Mosher would like to honor Samuel Landis for excellence. This concludes the recognition of scholars.
Congratulations to all the students who won an award. Your hard work has paid off. Keep it up. Keep working towards excellence in your studies and keep the hard work going. It's my privilege now to present some special awards to some of the members of the junior class. First award is the Bausch and Lomb Honorary Science Award. This award is presented to a junior with high scholastic standing in all of their science subjects, Earth Science, Living Environment, and Chemistry. The winner of this award is eligible to apply to become a University of Rochester Bausch and Lomb Scholar. This designation carries with it scholarship funds, minimum amount being $20,000 total, $5,000 per year for 4 years. This year's recipient is Josh Bush. The next award is the George Eastman Young Leaders Award. This award is presented to a junior with high scholastic standing in all of their subjects with potential to become a strong leader in their community. The winner of this award is eligible to apply to become a University of Rochester Eastman Scholar. This designation carries with it scholarship funds, the minimum amount being $20,000, $5,000 per year for 4 years. This year's recipient is Sarah Herzig. The next award is the Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony Award. This award is presented to a junior with high scholastic standing in the humanities and social sciences with a demonstrated commitment to understanding and addressing difficult social issues. The winner of this award is eligible to apply to become a University of Rochester Douglass and Anthony Scholar. This designation carries with it scholarship funds, the minimum amount being $20,000, $5,000 per year for 4 years. This year's recipient is Ava Campo. The next award is the Rochester Institute of Technology Computing Medal and Scholarship Award. This recognizes one student from the junior class who has achieved academic distinction, demonstrated leadership in school and community activities, and demonstrated an interest and ability in computing. Recipients will receive a $32,000 scholarship if accepted and enroll at Rochester Institute of Technology. That would be $8,000 per year. At Rochester Institute of Technology, the recipient of the award this year is Madeline Johnson. The next award is the Rochester Institute of Technology, Humanities, and Social Sciences Scholarship Award. This award recognizes a student from the junior class who has distinguished themselves academically, is an active and involved member of the community, and demonstrates outstanding achievement in innovation, creativity, or entrepreneurship. Students who are selected are eligible for a $32,000 scholarship, $8,000 per year, if they are accepted and enroll at Rochester Institute of Technology. This year's recipient is Emily Knight. The next award is the Clarkson Leadership Award. This award recognizes an outstanding junior who has demonstrated academic achievement and has positively impacted their high school and community. The student who is nominated for this award and subsequently enrolls at Clarkson University will receive a scholarship of $60,000, $15,000 annually for 4 years. This year's recipient is Charlie Ann Lehman. The next award is the Lemoyne College Heights Award. This award is to recognize a high school junior who is reaching for the heights in the classroom and in service to their school and community as it celebrates academic achievement, service, and leadership. The nominee who is accepted and enrolls at Lemoyne College will receive a scholarship in the amount of $16,000 per year. This year's recipient is Adeline Olmstead. The next award is the Augsburg North Country Scholar Award. The SLU Augsburg North Country Scholar Award is presented to a member of the class of to a junior class who demonstrates academic achievement, leadership potential, and a genuine desire to pursue a liberal arts degree at St. Lawrence University. The recipient who is accepted and subsequently enrolls at St. Lawrence University will receive a scholarship in the amount of $140,000, $35,000 per year. And this year we have 2 recipients, Abby Eisel and Carter Rice. The next award is the Rensselaer Medal. This medal is awarded to a student who has achieved high honors in academic subjects required for a career involving science, technology, engineering, and math. Should a Rensselaer medalist enroll at Rensselaer Polytech Institute, they will be considered for a scholarship of $40,000 per year. This year's recipient is Tyler Bolivar. The last of these awards is the Xerox Award. This award for innovation in information technology is presented to a student who has excelled broadly in all subjects and has an interest in innovation. The winner of this award is eligible to apply to be a Xerox Scholar at the University of Rochester, an award that is worth at least $5,000 per year. This year's recipient is Natalie Hughes. At Beaver River, it's a tradition to recognize the top 10 students in every class from grades 9 through 12. We calculate the highest averages for the 3 quarters of this year, and sometimes the difference is pretty small. Narrow gap. These students are invited to a special lunch on May 22nd where they'll be served by our administration staff. This is just a way to show how grateful we are for the work you do and who you are. For those students whose names I call, I ask that you come up on stage, probably enter on that end, and then file this way, and it'll get really tight. You'll have to get really cozy up here. We'll start with 9th grade. And I'll read all the names in a class, and then we can applaud. For 9th grade, top 10 are Milena Loomis, Raina Leindecker, Samuel Miller, Natalie Mosier, Kyra Olmstead, Annabelle Pilo, Quinlan Pominville, Jackie Stoffel, Patty Tiss, and Natalie Woodrick. For grade 10, our top 10 scholars are Eleanor Ball, McKinley Becker, Kylie Grau, Ethan Maroff, Madeline Matamore, Tessa Murphy, Hannah Rogie, Ella St. Croix, Isaiah Verkler, and Nathan Verkler. Top 10 recipients in grade 11. Tyler Bolivar, Josh Bush, Abby Eisel, Charlie Ann Lehman, Addie Olmstead, Grace Putman, Lily Reap, Cade Schneider, Madison Schwartz, and Ryan Terillian. And for the senior class, the top 10 recipients this year are Kenny Becker, Elena Dickinson, Natalie Dickinson, Aspen Fitzgerald, Kaylee Haltman, Christopher Kirch, Kendra Lehman, Aubrey Monnet, Michael Olmstead, and Derek Zare. We're going to have the top 10 scholars stay here for the remainder of the program. It'll be fun. And then you'll stay there for a picture afterward. In closing, I do want to recognize all of the students that have received awards tonight. One more time, stand up. The students that have received awards tonight. The students that have... I want to thank the brass ensemble for playing tonight. I want to thank Mrs. Kylie Byrne for giving some wonderful words of advice and her experience. I learned from it. I want to thank the Corliers again for singing that wonderful selection, which is very fitting. And Mrs. Moyer for reading off the scholars. Parents, I want to thank you again. Students, I think you should give your parents a round of applause. Students, I think you can do better than that. Teachers, again, thank you. I'm going to ask you to stand for a moment to be recognized again for what you do in our school. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one last recognition which is probably unwanted. And I don't mean to demean any other recognitions that have happened tonight, but without this person tonight wouldn't have happened. There's not a lot of times in life where you get a second chance at anything. I'm not going to make her stand because she doesn't want to, but a year ago, I wish I had recognized Mrs. Dickup a whole lot more than I did. So thank you, Mrs. Dickup, for everything you've done. We will close this ceremony by being led by our choir leaders in singing our alma mater. Again, the top 10 will stay here for pictures afterward, but if we could all rise and sing our alma mater, led by the choir leaders.